Gary Heyer of Heyer Power Wellness Product. You don't want to miss it.
Blessings, 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 everybody out there in the universe. My name is Shawn Myrie, and I'm your host of the Down2Earth podcast. Today, I got a great guest on the show. Introduce yourself, brother, to the universe.
What's up, everybody? I'm Gary Heyer, founder, owner of Higher Power Wellness and the Higher Power Foundation. Cancer survivor, story's large, but that's who I am. What's going on? How you doing?
Doing good. Like, just tell the people a little bit about your story. Like, you're a cancer survivor. What gave you the inspiration to start this company? I could tell that it's like it's a wellness company. It's a health company, and that's popular nowadays.
Yeah, so I'll take you back a little bit before the cancer diagnosis so you understand where it all kind of comes from. So I've got an extensive background in athletics. I was a scholarship athlete. I played basketball. Through that process, I had, some knee surgeries and stuff due to some conditions that I had in my knee when I was a young boy. As a growing young man, growing up in the 80s and 90s here in SoCal, the popularity of drive-thrus and fast foods and processed foods and TV dinners and the processed drinks and all that stuff was just being shoved down our throat like never before, with media and athletes endorsing the super size me's and stuff like that from the drive-through places, and so I developed this lifestyle of just fueling my body a certain way because I was a young boy and we didn't know any better. We were being led wrong as a whole entire culture and country over here. And it just, you carry those habits into life, right? You carry the habits that you establish as a child and as a young adult really carry and manifest itself later in life. And so, then you take into account, now I'm a married man, in my early 30s at the time, and we had our daughter Aubrey. At the time she was like 3.5 going into preschool, and one night we were having dinner together and she decided that she didn't want her broccoli, and so my wife and I decided to build this company called Make Eating Fun. We built a process about getting creative, giving the parents a tool to educate their children and get them to try healthier foods, because we didn't want our daughter to just say no and us just be like, okay, you're not going to eat it. It's you don't like it. So we got this creative process and it started working. And then we created a nutrition education program about it. And in 2017, I quit my career to go all in on that business. And we were going into the school districts here in SoCal, having good time, like building this dream. And then a month after I quit my career, I got diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer. So 26 tumors across my body at 41 years old, stage 4 diagnosis, doctors telling you, all the doom and gloom of, it's possible you can only have months to live. If you're going to survive, you're going to be on chemo for the rest of your life, and all these stories about what that cancer battle looks like. And at that time, I was almost 300 pounds, soaking wet in burger grease and alcohol and bad habits, food addictions, all those things that I, carried from my younger years into my adult life. And it just became part of me. And so I had all these layers of cancer throughout my body and my being, and like just my whole soul was just cancerous, just from the way that I thought. And I thought that I was living my life healthy, but I got shocked with this diagnosis at a time when take you back, I was leading this health and wellness space of like, we're going to teach our children healthy food choices. But here I am as the leader in that, almost 300 pounds and not healthy myself, in fact, riddled with cancer. I'd been on cholesterol and triglyceride medication for 22 years of my life because of genetics, and they never took the time to really teach me about nutrition. Always of like, yeah, you should probably eat better, but here's a pill because of genetics, and you're going to need to take that. Well, now that I've been through Western medicine with this cancer battle, I've been through 46 rounds of chemo, 30 rounds of radiation. I was on 25 different prescription drugs at a given time, major surgeries. They took my colon and my rectum out. They took half my liver. They took my gallbladder, the leftover lymph nodes that were there after months of chemo. So that was a major overhaul. I've had multiple remissions since then, come back and, residual disease come back and threaten me in my liver a couple times and in my lungs. And we've knocked those out. I'm living my life cancer-free now, and doing really well at the hands of really shifting how I fuel my body, my mind, my soul, my whole surrounding, how I live my life. And the major components of that is how I was fueling my body from the inside out. And I started understanding how I believe our creator, God, created our body and gave us these amazing tools that in our gardens, he dumped us in the Garden of Eden for a reason, I believe. And so I started really leaning into perfect hydration. You saw me drinking my water at the beginning. I'm just all in. I drink 2 gallons of a living water every single day. I've got, I'm plant-based. I put meat and dairy down 4 years ago. And I switched to this whole cannabis lifestyle around that plant that helped me eliminate 25 prescription drugs and become far less toxic and be able to handle the onslaught of what chemotherapy is without needing the prescription drugs to go around it to combat the nausea, the appetites, the pains, all those things. I was addressing it through cannabinoids and hydration and how I feel my body. So you ask how Higher Power Wellness came about. You see the brand Higher Power. Obviously, my last name is Higher. Higher Power was a hashtag to help root me on as I fought for my life. Yeah. And I developed this lifestyle, and through the process of sharing online on Instagram, if you guys are on Instagram, check me out there. But you could see the testimonies. I started just sharing this lifestyle with people. And then I made the juices that I drink every single day. I made the oils. I've got my sea moss, and we ship this stuff across the country. And we've got a lot of customers that are paying, happy customers. But I also take care of a lot of people in the cancer space because there's a big financial burden on the cancer world that has blocked a lot of people from getting to access to these great weapons to help them fight a better fight. So that's where the Higher Power Foundation has come in to build a platform to go raise money and help people that are fighting for their life, fuel their minds better, fuel their bodies better, develop a holistic approach to this fight. And I believe in Western medicine. I'm not discounting that.
I'd like to ask you, like, how you mentioned a cannabis lifestyle, like,
sure.
Because cannabis been legalized in a lot of states recently. In Canada, where I'm from, it's legalized everywhere. Now, do you think it's stupid for me to ask the benefits of cannabis versus, these drugs where what they manufacture, which is, to me, my opinion, because I'll be straight up, I smoke cannabis. I'm guilty. I'm a cannabis connoisseur in all types of ways. But what I'm saying, I would like your opinion on how the industry accepts it now, I would say, in some way, but not social media. I just noticed that, like, you got to be tiptoeing, even just mentioning anything cannabis, even though it's good for us.
Yeah, so you just got to understand, and if you start looking behind the scenes of what these outlets are, and you start seeing behind the scenes of what the medical industry is and big pharma and media and the politics and all the things that are involved, deep rooted, that started a couple 100 years ago when cannabis was made illegal. Cannabis was here since the beginning of man, and then man comes along and starts figuring out drugs, and they're like, holy cow, we got millions of people potentially, in the future to be servicing and providing these drugs for. Let's create these products. And the biggest thing with cannabis is it's got 150 cannabinoids in it. We and even the medical space that understand this plant from a medicinal level, and we'll get into how I treat this plant. But if you understand it of how our body was designed and what cannabis is at the root, literally the root, it's a natural thing that God gave us for this endocannabinoid system. There's so much benefit. Like if you just look online and you say, can CBD help this? And you just type in your symptom, it'll probably show you that it can, right? But the truth isn't just in the CBD, bro. It's in the plant. Yes, the drug industry has created all of these drugs. Like I said, I got myself off of 25 of them at a time where I was very desperately in need, a very toxic situation, bro. Like where I don't even want to describe it. It's disgusting the way that I was feeling, the way that, you know, it's what a lot of the people that are fighting cancer feel because of all of the toxic uh, um, issues going on from the medication, but also from the food. And when you got both of them working against you, and you don't have somebody that understands how that all kind of works, it can cause a lot of problems. It was causing a lot of problems for me. And when I flipped that switch, cannabis being the #1 catalyst of this, because I knew that there was something there. I just didn't know. But fortunately for me is I'm connected to some really good experts in the cannabis space. One of the best in the world is at the center of our crew. His name's Michael T. He's Scorpion CBD, Scorpion Genetics, Scorpion 420. Amazing man. He's taught me everything. And when he brought me into, when I told him that I was fighting cancer and what I was dealing with all that toxicity, he brought me in and he said, Gary, we can't look at cannabis like a drug anymore. It's a vegetable. Treat it like this. Treat it that way.
Facts.
You know?
It's a vegetable.
Is it not? I mean, a vegetable, or herb, whatever you want to call it, but it's got a flower. It's a plant that God gave us.
You can steam it.
We got to understand that there's so much more to it than smoking high and enjoying
no,
recreation.
You could drink it too. Like, you know,
could drink it. I've got, as a matter of fact, I got some raw hemp derived CBDA right here. This stuff is magical. Just one teaspoon of this. I got my little teaspoon that I sprinkle on my food. Treat it like a vegetable. This stuff is the raw deal right here. So I teach people how to get, you know, good medicinal cannabinoids in their body. Our body was designed to thrive off it, whether you're fighting cancer or not.
Yes.
You know, this is a human thing. You know, we were all designed the same, and our dogs even have an endocannabinoid system, and that's why, you know, they thrive off of CBD. We don't have to use CBD like medicine either. That's the big misunderstanding in our culture too, is like we've got all this acceptance now around cannabis because of CBD and hemp and the accolades that it's getting. But the truth is, it's all the plant, and you know, it's very simple when you break it down. And so people are used to saying, I need CBD for a headache, I need CBD for anxiety, I need CBD for sleep. You don't go get a product for that like we go get a sleeping aid at the CVS or the Rite Aid, right?
Yeah, it's for everything.
It's not the Tylenol either. Like, this is a supplement. This is a plant. It doesn't have to be a supplement anymore. Like, get the real thing and eat it. And that's the best way to get, like, that's the way I believe this was all created and designed for.
You're right. Like, put it on your salad, put it on, like, you know, like what people would season normally their if they eat chicken or whatever. You could do that. You can mix it up even with the other spices probably. Cannabis, like, I talk about cannabis a lot too. I have the other podcast, my new one, if you see that picture in the background, the Mary Jane. It's Down to Earth now, but I usually on that one talk about more detail about like what you're talking about, the cannabinoids, talking about the female plant, the difference, the indicas, different people. Not everybody's the same. That's very important to tell people. Not everybody's the same. Everybody handles certain levels higher and lower, right? Like,
yeah, we all have the same endocannabinoid system. We also have different sensitivity levels. We got, you know, there's a lot to that equation, but understanding the root of it, that this plant has so much to offer that maybe it is just CBD that you, like my wife, for example, she doesn't partake in really any of the plant other than a full spectrum CBD our product, right? But she doesn't like any of the THC stuff. She doesn't like how she feels on it. Doesn't react. So fine.
Yeah.
But she's gotten so much benefit from the CBD side, the plant, and understanding your body. But it's going to take just being opened up to this idea that it's not a drug. This is something that can add so much value to your life in so many ways, like over time of using it every single day in your lifestyle.
You know what? I never thought I grew up not thinking of as a drug because my father, he was into growing it, and you know, it's just part of the culture. Like, he always says the same thing what you're saying. How can man make something what's from the earth illegal? That's why his you know, his philosophy is that it's from the earth, it's natural, they should not make it illegal. I know they have to do that's why it's not illegal now, it's legalized. They realize,
just follow the trails just follow the trails of how it's all connected up at the top, and then you'll see like who's controlling that legalization and all that stuff, and then who's feeding money into that system, and then you just keep working down, and it all points to the manufacturing. It's not as you can't. I mean, that's why it's not legal yet. They're figuring out how they can get their money out of it.
So wait, where you're from, it's not legal?
Oh, it's legal. We're in Southern California, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it's legalized all the way in Canada.
But yeah, there's still federal regulation. I heard Biden put something out there that he's trying to do something to lift take it off Schedule 1. I don't know.
But it's good for
me,
us for trading, though. For trading and business, it's good because we can't distribute anything from Canada, and I don't think vice versa. It doesn't really work like that now. So I think he's trying to, because Canada's making a lot of money from it. I think he's just trying to get into that market because everybody's doing it.
Yeah, it'd be smart, and it'd be smart to try and help the cannabis industry, and don't try and make it a medical product. That's the problem what I see in America, is that they're going to try and make this a medicinal product and make it a pharma thing. And it should be, can the cannabis industry show you what's up? Because the cannabis industry has been working with this plant for hundreds of years behind the scenes. You've made it illegal, but now we're recognized. And so now they're just trying to sweep up and just try and cover up all the drama that they created about the truth of what this plant is. THC, that psychotropic part, is just one part of that plant, 1/150th of it. Like, it's such a small, minute part of that plant that throws that psychotropic effect that people can abuse, right? And that's why they made it illegal, I guess. But the fact is there's all this medicinal benefit, and I don't know, man. There's just so much tied to it, and especially
politics.
In the politics of it. It's a dangerous conversation, and I think that's why it gets shadow banned, is because the politics of it, and then the politics are tied directly to the social media space. I mean, look at all the propaganda that's come out around the pandemic, and no matter what side of the fence you're on, man, who knows? Like, it's so, like, if we can't see that all of this confusion is by design to keep us tugging and pulling, like, just give us the truth. I've discovered the truth of this, man. There's no way this should be illegal, and this isn't. This is hemp-derived CBDA. I can ship this all across. In fact, I got a lot of my clients on it. This is self-sustainable. It's so amazing.
I'm going to ask you, what's the feedback from all the people like since you launched your product? What's the feedback you've been getting?
Oh man, I mean, it's one of those situations, bro, where, like, I work in a space where people are fighting for their life, and I'm showing them a way to do it better and more efficiently, just by fueling their body better and being able to take on all the forces of the onslaught of medication. And I value both sides. And so I'm stumbling on it because people come to me and they're like in tears and like life-saving type stuff, miraculous type stuff. These people have been told that they aren't going to be surviving, they aren't going to be able to live much past a few months, and then we change their regimen, their lifestyle, while they're also doing, chemotherapy and radiation, whatever. I don't interfere with what the doctors are doing in this space at all. I encourage, because I've used both sides, I just use it selectively, and I made the decisions to take myself off of certain prescription drugs that I felt that my body didn't need, because I was handling it in nature's way. And so now I've figured out this balance, and I coach people in that way. And bro, like, it's so touching to me. Like, I'm literally, this stuff is really making a huge difference. And I'm extremely humbled, and I just keep pointing up because, my creator, God, gave me these blessings. I'm a big believer. And through this journey, I've seen some very, very dark moments, and he has showed up in amazing ways. And I just wanted to pass on all these blessings that I've learned, and I've done that, and I've done it in a way that's glorified him. And I've gotten so much love and feedback, and I feel like I'm just the beginning of starting a movement that could really change a lot of people's lives. It's pretty amazing. So you're just like, you're catching a guy that's like right in the moment. I mean, I'm still in the fight for my life. I'm cancer-free. I live cancer-free. I'm going in a couple weeks for scans to check out what's going on inside. But it's just a crazy journey, and I get a lot of amazing feedback. It's incredible.
your company, is it just in America or is it everywhere? Like, is it like going international, distributed?
Right now, we're only in America. There's just, like you've addressed, there's issues getting it across the border. I'm dealing with perishable too. So like my juices, I make these and ship them across the country. And so we do them in weekly shipments to get them there fresh. And what I do is I freeze them and then get them across and get them on a transit. If they're getting stopped by customs, it's just going to take too long. I've tried it, and there's just so much red tape to try and get my products out of the country in a timely fashion. It's not like I can just sit this I got some shelf-sustainable stuff that I could work with, but again, there's just regulations, and I'm not willing to dance on that.
Yeah, it's all the politics, like we're saying, like Biden or whoever, they gotta clean it up, because down here it's like it's free. I mean, it's free. Like, America needs to get it together with everything. Like, it has to be legal everywhere, not just 5-10 states. It has to be legal. You get what I mean? Like,
I agree, man. I'm with you on that. I agree wholeheartedly. It's a shame where we're at with all of it and the censorship that happens. I mean, I'm heavily shadow banned right now on IG. So, I mean, if anybody's watching this and they want to follow along just to get like free information on how to implement things in your life, like not everything that I give away out there is paid for. It needs to be shipped across borders or anywhere. You can do it and implement it in your life. And a good place to catch that is on my Instagram, but I'm heavily shadow banned. So
all of us.
It's crazy, man. It's just like, it's wild.
I sense it.
Information.
You know what, brother? I could sense it because I have my other podcast. Ever since I started the Myrie Jane podcast, which is the more weed theme based, I could see the shadow ban. Like, I could sense it, because just knowing the algorithms online, right? So they are doing that. And one time I just put up a list of names of different strands, and I put it up before. No reason, no problem. But soon as you put a caption on their picture with a list, they thought I was trying to sell something. It was just a list of the different strands to educate people what this strand does, how much percentage it is. But soon as you write a caption, something extra, it's like you're promoting selling it. So then I look at the laws, for example, in Canada, what you can and cannot do. So it's very sticky. People should look up the laws, like wherever it's legal, because promotion of it, you have to be very careful how you promote, but you can promote it. I realize how I can promote it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. It's just it's a shame. I mean, with everything, it's just there's so much suppression of information, and the ability to really share what you feel is the truth. And I get it. There's people out there that can share information that's not the truth, and it can be very damaging. But we're talking about something that is so natural, so organic, and so meant for our body. And it's like, well, why can't we just talk about the truth and just stop with the BS, stop with the political jockeying and control? That's what it is. It's control, and there's a lot of money tied to it, man. The U.S. has a lot of that going on behind the scenes.
The funny thing, Cali was always big in like promoting marijuana all through America, even up to here. We known about the Cali Kush, and now we're legalized. And you have a big guy like, for example, Burner, who has cookies everywhere, including here, and he's been going through the similar things too. He had cancer. I don't know if all clear.
I've tried to reach out to Burner, so I wanted to talk to him and see if I can talk to him about some of the things because I know he was battling colon cancer.
Yeah, so like Cali's been a leader in it, and so it doesn't make sense why it's not legalized already. We legalized before America. That's like, I thought it would have been legalized because of Cali. You get what I mean? The influence, and I don't know. It's just politics.
You would think so, man. You would think so.
But anyways, tell me about your best-selling product. What you have? Like, what's the most, what people love? Which one do they love?
Yeah, so I've got a lifestyle program that I do, and it's a mixture of my juices. So my juices are a specific system, 2 juices a day. This stuff is amazing. So you clean out your system with the celery detox, and then you build your system back up with the signature superpower. And this one has had hemp in it. We also have CMOS that we implement in a lifestyle package. And we also have my oils. I'll show you these real quick. Wake. Where to go? There it is. Wake. This one right here is Garnishita Cambogia extract, and it's a full spectrum CBD. So we start our day with this one. Got a, just an eyedropper that'll get you about 15 or so milligrams of cannabinoids. Then you got another 15 milligrams and a dose of the boost in the afternoon. This one has a little vitamin B12. And then the calm in the evening with a little melatonin with that. That's another 15. So you get about 45 milligrams of cannabinoids at the baseline here. But I also, like I showed you before, I have the raw CBDA, the hemp-derived CBDA. This is a game changer because now, a lot of people that I'm dealing with are looking for better results. A lot of them are fighting disease, but so we need to load that cannabinoid content up. The Rick Simpson protocol, they talk about it being 750 milligrams a day. We can get there and achieve it very well through this system, and being able to just sprinkle it throughout your food all day long, we can get so many great rich cannabinoids. So it's more of a lifestyle plan that I really work with. I help people. I really specialize in meeting people right where they're at in their health and building a game plan to get them where they want to go, whether it's losing weight or, pre-diabetes and want to do something, or cancer, and taking on all that stuff. I have a system and a flow that really works. And so, but, they all kind of like the juices. I sell a lot of the juices, because it's a good, easy product. People can implement that right in to their day, and it's good. But
it's good for you.
It's great for you. And then the CMOS gel. This stuff is fire. This one really. I just released this product from my friend Sun and Sea. We get our CMOS straight from Jamaica. We make it here. Yeah, so right off the shorelines, bro. We got a resource out there in Jamaica that combs the shores and then gets it dried up and does his thing.
Which part of Jamaica? My pops is from the west side.
Oh, really? I'm not exactly sure. It's my partners over at Sun and Sea Global, right over here. Let me get these guys right here. They've been making my CMOS, so I'll have to ask them what shoreline. I'll let you know. He does all my stuff for me for my CMOS. But it's the real deal. So this has been a hot item because a lot more people are learning about the benefits and the mineral density that's going on in the CMOS, and that's a great solution to keep your body in good shape.
That's why I feel the shadow banning is hurting anything associated with CBD or cannabis, because there's a lot of information like you yourself, me, myself, and others can share. We're trying, but there's a system blocking it. And it's kind of funny. I remember health food stores were looked on as like voodoo or some magic, like stores, because the doctors, the government doctors did not like that because it would take their business away, right? That's the whole fight. They don't like a lot of doctors still don't recommend cannabis up here because it's taken away from their money. Every drug, what you pay for, they benefit from it. So that's what's going on.
My story. We've been talking about it for 30 minutes now. I've been in the medical system for the last 5 years to fight cancer. I've seen the bills. I have pretty hefty ones myself with good insurance, but the money that has been made just on my medical ID is millions.
See, that's part of the game. I think it's part of the game.
It is, and when you're in it and you don't take the approach that I've taken, you're in there longer and you've got more. Like, I eliminated those 25 prescription drugs 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So think about how much more money would have been made if I was addicted to those and stuck on those things, as opposed to going more nature's route.
That's why it's a benefit for everybody. It's a benefit for people's health, and it's a benefit for the government. You can make money from it. I know they're making money from it. They're making money, billions right now.
Oh yeah. But then also you build some credibility and some trust. I mean, I think that's where we're at right now. I've lost all credibility and trust with government and politics and the information that's coming out of that sector of our world. Like, it's just so corrupt and nasty that why can't they at least just start with telling us the truth about this plant? They've been fighting and tugging over it, and it's so exposed. Like, you know, like I said, Biden just put something out the other day that he's going to abolish all of the laws and release everybody that's been incarcerated for growing or whatever. And they're moving towards taking it off, making it fully federally legal, which is fantastic. But let's start talking about the truth and educate the people on how to really use this plant to benefit them. And I guarantee there's going to be this shift and awakening, and people are going to start taking care of themselves better. Like it's wild. What the possibilities are for just mankind in general from this plant, and the legalization and the truth of it is what we need to be focused on.
You want to tell the people like your website? Like, do you have a website for your company?
I do, yeah. So heyerpoerwellness.com is my website, and you can see behind me if you're watching, or my gear says it everywhere. It's HEYER, my last name, powerwellness.com. And that's also how you can find me on Instagram. So I'm active on Instagram. That's how you and I got connected. I shared another podcast that I did, and we got linked up, and here we are. But Instagram is a good space where you can see my story. You can see testimonies from my clients. You can see the products. You can link to the website. If you guys want to get a hold of me, you know how to find me. I'm easily found. Shawn.
I like the name too. I like the name.
Yeah,
right?
Thanks, bro.
It's like my name. That's really my last name, Myrie Jane. So I just put Jane with it.
I like that. I like that a lot. Very
but
good.
I'm gonna ask you, because a lot of people love music too. Because I love music. I'm a musician. Like, what's your flavor of music? Like, what do you listen to relax? Because it's like medicine too, you know?
Right. Right. You know, I love all genres of music. You know, I grew up in the 80s and 90s in SoCal, so hip hop is ingrained in my soul. But, you know, there's a time and a need, and I love worship music, and I love country music, and I love rock and roll. My dad is a old hippie, so he loves classic rock and Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and, you know, all those guys. But I love jazz. I love classical. So I just love having music on around me that feeds my soul. You know, music's important, man. It's vibrations, and it's good. I love reggae. Reggae is
one of very good for relaxation. Trust me. Yep.
Absolutely. I love I listen to a station on Pandora while I'm working. It's called like Buddha Bar Lounge or something like that. And it's got reggae. It's got like this chill, vibey type just music that flows all day long. And so I've been listening to that. That's one of my go-tos while I'm working, because it puts you in a good mind, right? Like, just feels good.
So I'm just gonna ask you, before we come off the spaceship, what's some of your inspirations, your greatest inspiration in life, like right now or ever? What's your greatest inspiration?
You know, being in the space that I'm in, with being fighting cancer myself, but also speaking to and getting familiar with a lot of people in the cancer while they're fighting for their life. Those people are my inspiration. From the young children, I'm just meeting a family right now that I'm, helping out and working with and talking to, and their young 14-year-old boy has been battling for the last 5 years against, a really difficult cancer, and so my heart pours out, and my inspiration is with him because of the way that they're fighting the fight. Like, it's just, they're so positive and just getting after it. And this little boy's amazing. So I think of him, and I think of a lot of the people that are in my ministry that are fighting, stage 4 disease, and just doing it in a way with faith and integrity, and just trying to do it with courage and finding the good stuff in life. And that makes me want to lead more and lean more into the good stuff in life.
Well, Gary, you're a real hero, man. This story, what I'm hearing, you're a real hero, a superhero to a lot of people. And I hope that you keep going, and I'm gonna keep blessing you, man, that everything keeps going good for you, and this company keeps growing. And I see a lot of people really taking it in and educating themselves about, wellness. That's what we need, wellness. And don't be afraid of natural remedies like cannabis, anything. Go ahead.
God made it. It can't, it can't hurt you. I know that there's a lot of things out there that are psychotropic and can be dangerous. I mean, we got to recognize, kids shouldn't be doing this THC side of things. I mean, my daughter uses CBD because I know where it comes from. I know it's true CBD. I don't want her touching THC because it can damage the underdeveloped brain. And I know that I understand things, psychotropic mushrooms, but there's also benefits to microdosing those things in the medical space for adults, and we got to understand those things and give it the respect that it's due. So I always say, if God created it, then it's something that we have to consider, and it's something that probably can really feed our body well.
Gary, and thank you for coming through. Gary Heyer, right? I'm saying it right?
Sir.
Gary Heyer. Thanks for coming through the Down to Earth podcast with your host, Shawn Myrie. It was a pleasure, brother.
Hey, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me. It's really
much respect, man. Yo, follow him, support. Bless up, everybody.
Yeah.
Down to Earth.